Can marriage truly survive without trust? I don't think so. And here's why. I have been married for I was married for 20 years before I experienced the death of my spouse. And that has taught me some lessons, and I'm ready to share as part of my contribution to this world. Marriage is not just love attraction or commitment. Those things matter, yes, but trust is what holds everything together. Because when trust is broken or not present, even love starts to feel unsafe. Communications becomes guarded. Can you relate? If trust is missing in a marriage, is it still a marriage? If there's no trust in marriage, then what is left? That is why I believe without trust, marriage starts to lose its foundation. And uh, this will lead me into when I started out in our marriage. We thought we would be together, but suddenly he got transferred, and that continued and continued and continued until he finally moved in with us in the US. At the onset, he was going and coming, going and coming and going and coming until he decided to stay with us here. And you know, all through the 20 years, I never had a moment to doubt my husband. I kept thinking about it. Why didn't I even think that maybe he had someone somewhere? Because sometimes I'm even expecting him to call me, but he would not call. Or sometimes he's calling and said, it's at work right now, blah, blah, blah. And maybe some people are disturbing. You know how you'll be on phone in Nigeria office and your secretary or people around will be prognosing into what you are doing. It might tell me it's not conducive, it will call back. And honestly, I didn't have a moment to think, to doubt him. And that take me to the moment before we got married. And I want to encourage everyone looking at me that is yet to marry or in the process. I think what helped me for the most part is that I reflected over this before even giving my hand into this marriage. It came to me one of those days and I was like, what if this man chose to marry or impregnate a woman out there? And I remember saying to myself, yeah, if that happens, then I will have to make a decision if I want to have my man or walk away. Did you know that little thing, that little thought that came at that time was a seed of awareness and preparedness? Again, it's a seed of awareness and preparedness. Nothing came to me as a shock in life so far on, or unless for the death of my spouse, which was sudden. No preparation at all. For the most part, I've always been prepared. It's even for this part of life we have been preparing, but you know, nobody wants to die young. Nobody wants to die when the children are still young And that's why we made some preparation, having savings, having some form of insurances to cater for us. Hey daughter, how are you? I'm making a video. And as I was just looking at relationships and what's going on in the world right now, I just feel inspired to share this part of my story. And honestly, having a plan, thinking about this even before entering the marriage really helped me when I finally found myself in marriage with a man that travels all the time and was a weekend husband for almost 16 years out of the 20 years we were married. And back to my question, if there's no trust in marriage, then what is left? What is left? I never had a moment to doubt my husband, and he never doubted me. In fact, sometimes when I'm watching Nigerian movies and I see women trying to look into the phone of their husband and husband looking, I don't even think we have a minute to do that. That is how much trust we build and respect we have for each other. When my husband was doing all of those trips, guys, I did not have a minute to say, bring your phone. I did not look into my husband's phone for the 20 years we lived together. And when he passed away and I had to look into his phone, it was weird, kind of weird. Because why did I need to look into his phone? Was to check some things I needed to do, one or two things. I'm telling you, even though he didn't even have password on his phone. I didn't have password on his phone until now that I have some information that in case I lose my phone, it will be difficult for people to get into those informations that are on my phone. That is the reason. All my children have my password. All my children. Why would I do? So when I need their phone and they're and they're and they're and they're acting out, don't you have access to my phone? That's me. That story is for another day about children. And I'm not saying people don't try to stay in their marriage. They do. But what are they really holding on to? Ask yourself. What are they really holding on to? If trust is gone. Maybe you started out with trust. And now his job changed. He's coming back home late. Or you call him while he's at work. He's not answering your call. And you are assuming that he's with a girl. This new journey is teaching me to never assume. Because assumptions make us go wrong. Assumptions make relationship become unhealthy. So today I have asked us a series of questions. Can a marriage truly survive without trust? I don't think so. And I've shared with you my reasons that I think that a marriage cannot survive without trust. I started out from after my honeymoon with a transfer for my husband, which means he became a weekend husband. From that day up until our marriage was 16 years. And I tell you, both of us trusted one another. we trust on each other. He didn't have to. And I think the moment the moment we begin to not trust, things will begin to fall apart. We held on to each other in trust. I never had a moment to think that he's doing something else. No, I didn't even pick up his phone for a day, for half a day, to check on his phone, to check what he's doing on his phone. Why? Why? If I start to do that, that means love is broken. Love is gone. If trust is missing in a marriage, is it still a marriage? I ask you again. If there's no trust in marriage, then what is left? This is just a reflection, my people. But I'd love to know what you think. Please, share your thoughts in the comments. I love to read them. I love to read them. I want to know what everybody else is thinking. Let us grow together. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. If you have subscribed, please turn on your notification. You will see all in the beside the bell button. Set it on all, so that when I upload new videos, you can receive the notification. Thank you all to my new subscribers. Thank you to my returning subscribers. Be blessed.